All right, David Lycan says there is no bubble. He's Transformational Mortgage Solutions president. We've got Beth Santo who says we are in a bubble. She's a real estate attorney. So, David, you don't see it. Why not?
Number one, the law of supply and demand is very live and well in the housing market. We have a limited supply of homes in the marketplace across many aspects of the market. I'm at a housing conference right now here in Austin, Texas called Mayor Catalyst, and we're talking with the top economists. It's an invitational only, and they're all saying that we're not in a housing bubble. We are definitely in a situation where we're going to see decent housing growth, and in some markets still see potential of double digit. So that could eventually create a bubble, but we're not in that now. Look at inventories, and then the biggest indicator is look at new home sales. Those home sales rose, and we're seeing last week, and we're seeing that in a direct correlation to, or a contrast to, the existing home sales of last week, which we saw come below expectations. The only reason they came below expectations was because of a lack of inventory.
You know, Beth, I think what he's saying, that is, Carl Icahn, is that we've got unrealistically low interest rates, and it wouldn't take much, just a slight uptick before everything goes kablooey. What do you think?
But that's not going to happen.
Go ahead.
David, I think it's interesting that you're in Texas, and that could potentially be the epicenter of the start of a housing crisis, because the boom in the housing market in that particular area was driven by the oil industry, which is now in a state of disarray. And so you may be making the opposite point here, because when you look at the housing market, it should correlate to what's going on in the overall economy. And when you look at the prices of houses, they don't correlate to increases in median incomes, especially in major metropolitan areas. So, you know, you have to have the price that the average American can afford. And when you have economic policies and federal policies that are supporting and luring first-time buyers with 3% down and low interest rates, and they don't have the income to sustain payments if there's a bump in the road, I think we're heading for a bubble. And not the same kind of bubble that we had before with negative amortization and stated loans, but, you know, you're still seeing prices that simply do not correlate to income.
Well, but I don't see it everywhere, and I know there are some markets that are heated up, but very few, if any, back to those 2007 highs, David. So every time I start getting nervous about this, I think, well, it's nothing like it was.
Exactly right. The thing, you look at where we're at from a recovery, and we're still in that recovery. Granted, we've had some price appreciation, but if you measure everything from the low, that is unrealistic. We've got to go back somewhere to where the close to the highs were. Granted, we got to the highs in the last cycle because of some crazy financing. That's out. We've never had more conservative, more tighter credit standards than what we have going on right now. So we're not creating it through credit excess. We're not creating it as a result of extraordinarily low interest rates. They're low, but that's outside of the housing policy. We're going to be dealing with these interest rates. They're not going to be going up. We're staying here.
We'll watch closely, guys. Thank you very, very much.